Captain Ted over here in Honolulu. Live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. Today it's Sunday, and we are here in Hawaii the last Sunday in August. I was over in Lahaina just 2 days ago on Friday. I went over to Lahaina to check it out, see how much I could see. I did get a few shots of the camera, the destruction, but I think you all have seen plenty of that. Just burned out ash, rubble, what's left. But I want to talk to you real quick because I think there's some updates I need to cover. And I don't think anybody else is really doing this kind of a report, and there's hundreds of guides, and they're all trying to make money. I am not selling books. I'm not monetizing my channel. I'm not making money. I don't want to make money off of this. People's misery and suffering is something I don't think should make money off of. I am a minister, a Christian minister. That's what I do. I was an airline pilot for over 40 years here in Hawaii. I still live here in Honolulu. And please excuse my studio, but I just had to do this quick and dirty. I was going to show you some video, but it didn't work out, so I just had to cover my screen behind me. But I want to show you where I went on Friday, 2 days ago. I flew in from Honolulu. It's a 20-minute flight, which very, very short. But I got into Kahului, the airport here. I had my friend and driver Richard meet me, and we went down here and caught the coastal road over to West Maui over here, and here's where Lahaina is over here on West Maui, which is in the shadow of this mountain range right here. So basically, this mountain here blocks all of West Maui from getting signal, internet, cell phone, even water. Now they're having trouble with that. But we drove by Lahaina. We were not allowed down Front Street. There was National Guard there and Maui police roadblocks. So we had to keep on going, and we went north here to, well, really near Kanapali, and we went to the West Maui Airport, which is right up here, a couple miles past Lahaina. And just want to tell you what I saw because it appears today there's been another wildfire, which not true, but another fire has broken out right up there by the West Maui Airport where I was. I hope tomorrow to get out. I did do a report from West Maui Airport when I was there, and I can show you what it looks like or what it looked like Friday. If it's not on fire by tomorrow, because it seems that things are not calming down like they should. But this is why I wanted to talk with you just 1 minute. And as my friends, and many of you are, I wanted to share with you what is actually going on as far as I see it. And first of all, I want to say this has been, I mean, and everybody knows it's been just unbelievably mismanaged from the beginning, before the beginning. August 8th. But I want to just bring to people's attention, August 8th has a meaning, like all of this stuff. I mean, 8 is the eighth month and the eighth day of the eighth month. You probably have all heard this, but for some that may not have, that turns out to be 808. Okay, the eighth month, 0808, the eighth day. So if you just take the last three numbers, you got 808, which is the area code for Hawaii, 808. I'm sure it was just a coincidence, but I don't think there are any coincidence in this whole thing. And it's kind of just a mockery. It's making a mockery of us. And just like September 9/11, you know, it's making a signature that somebody uh, had scheduled this thing and they were putting that in our face to let us know they did it. Well, somebody scheduled it. So I'll show you again. I don't know if this is reading correctly with the camera, but it's the 8th month and the 8th day, and you just take those three numbers, you got 808. If you got friends in Hawaii like me, you know that's the area code for Hawaii, 808. So, you know, just like Hawaii 50, I guess people don't know that 50 actually means the 50th state is what it's supposed to be, Hawaii 50, that TV show. But we're in reality, we are not the 50th state. We we are an illegal bastard state, in my opinion. We are not brought in by the constitutional process. And we were signed in by President Eisenhower in 1959 to thwart the Russians. He was afraid, and they wanted a military strategic place like Hawaii and Alaska. So Alaska and Hawaii were brought in by presidential decree, which means by a stroke of his pen, he brought them in. Well, I know there was a vote and all of that stuff here in Hawaii on statehood, but there was not a ratification process of the states voting, and it was not done according to the Constitution. Therefore, we are not a legitimate state, and neither is Alaska, of the United States, which may turn out to be the best thing that ever could happen to us, because there's a whole lot of people just like me that don't want to be part of this evil empire anymore. I've lost faith in this country and this so-called republic, constitutional republic, which is neither anymore. They're trying to run it as a illegitimate democracy, which is just totally mob rule. That's what it is in the end. So we get back to the question again, where are the children? That has been the question on everybody's mind. Where's the missing children? And they're still silent on that, as far as I know. They're not saying, and what they are saying is not true. But there was a press conference a couple of days ago where the chief of police, who's also the coroner, which is illegal by our state law, he said, admitted there are no children on that list of the 1,100 missing. So we're getting, you know, playing switcheroo here, and they're playing games with the numbers like they always do. But obviously, there's a lot of children missing. There's a lot of families missing. And when I was there this 2 days ago in West Maui, I spoke with a Hawaiian lady there. And she told me there were a lot of families, whole families died in those cars, the cars that were blocked by the orders of the chief of police from being able to flee the emergency route, just to leave Front Street. And now that I've driven by there, I see, yeah, there's only one way in and one way out on Front Street when that fire was going. And the only people that survived were the ones that disobeyed the police, the police roadblock that just went ahead and drove through the through the yards or over the cones or whatever they had to do to save their lives, which they have a right to do. And I think it's a travesty that most of them that died probably sat there in their car burned to death looking at their cell phone, waiting for somebody to text them what to do. And sorry, but this is not going to happen that way. It didn't happen. But I want to speak to that a minute. I saw a wonderful video by this Rebel News, which I like them a lot. I recommend them. And he was interviewing a Hawaiian lady. She gave her testimony as to her escape from the fire with her neighbor and with an elderly man named Freeman, who didn't make it in the end. But they fled down, tried to get in a car there on Front Street, and they couldn't go anywhere. They were stuck because nobody was moving. So they jumped out of the car and went down the rocks into the ocean. And her being Hawaiian, them being Hawaiian, let me tell you something, folks. The Hawaiians have a special place in the ocean here. This is their sea, this is their ocean, this is their island. But they have a special mana, you may call it, or spirit connection with the ocean. And Hawaiians are the best ocean man you're going to find over here. And that is their home. That's their natural home. So somehow this lady who's elderly, she's not a spring chicken and not in great shape, but she was able to help this man Freeman, who she said is 6'5", 350 pounds, 80 years old, to get down the rocks and down to the water. But Freeman didn't stay. He went back up because he said he wanted to see Lahaina one more time. In a way, I understand that because I know the love the Hawaiian people have for their home. And many of these people never been off the island of Maui. Many of them have never been anywhere else their whole life. And he wanted to see Maui burn or see it one last time. And he died up there about Front Street. A car blew up and killed him. But I want to speak also to something. There was a man that was on an interview a couple of days ago, and he was talking about watching the fire from a distance, and they were hearing the boom, 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 boom all night, boom. And he didn't know what it was. The police didn't know what it was. They thought it was propane tanks. But now I think the mystery solved. The lady said the cars were blowing up, which is obvious. They had gasoline in the tanks. So these cars were all blowing up, boom, 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 all night. So you had basically incendiary bombs, Molotov cocktails wrapped in steel and glass blowing up, and many died in their car, I'm sure, when the tanks blew up. So there's a lot of missing people. How many? Don't believe the numbers that they're giving. Again, Molokai fishermen were coming over bringing supplies. They ended up fishing bodies out of the channel there between Molokai and Maui, Lahaina. It's very near, close. I don't know, maybe 4 miles. I don't know how far it is across there. But then Lanai, the other island, is even closer. It's only a couple, 3 miles across there. And supposedly there's 180 some bodies washed up on the beach in Lanai. Of course, we don't get any truth or any real report, but I would say that conservatively there are thousands that died. And once again, one other point is that nobody talks about the tourists. You think about only that they're local people that were living there. Actually, no, that part of Lahaina was mainly tourists, mostly all tourists down there. Hotels, bed and breakfast, condo rentals, whatever, vacation rentals, the height of vacation time, August. Many of those tourists died there, obviously, on Front Street or couldn't even get to Front Street. And many of them are gone. And probably nobody, maybe nobody to report them. We don't know. But we're in a news blackout basically. And again, when I was there Friday, 2 days ago, I had my camera. I was taking pictures, and boy, I got the dirty looks from the Maui police. Actually, the guy took his cell phone and took a picture of me, and I was not in any restricted area. And also, the National Guard is there. They are, a guardsman told me they're under the authority of the Maui police, believe it or not. So here's my big question to Governor Green, the Pittsburgh Steeler fan. So he's from Pennsylvania. So I just call him the Pittsburgh Steeler because he came from Pittsburgh, and I guess he's stealing the land. So that's a good title for him. So the Pittsburgh Steeler, with one telephone call, could activate the whole Hawaii National Guard to come over there, and maybe they will, or we hope we can force them to do it. to set up a camp, a bivouac, a whole tent city there in the land. They could do it at the West Maui airport. But to help provide shelter, they have plenty of tents. They have mess tents. They have portable kitchens, portable latrine facilities. They have portable shower facilities. And most important, they have water, clean water for the people, which they are now afraid to drink it. They've been told it's contaminated and that also you can't shower with it. So it's going from bad to worse. And unless I've really missed something in this last day, I have to confess, I have not really felt well. I have not been myself since Monday when I watched Joe Biden go and do his dog and pony show over there, standing on the ashes of Lahaina. Something inside me broke. I'm sorry, but something in my heart, I just could not take it anymore. And I think it was mostly the story that there's a young man on the news saying that his younger brother was home alone when he went to work with his father that day, and they found his younger brother burned to death, clutching their family dog. The two of them burned to death together, alone in the house. And who knows how many other children, but how many other families. And this is just too hard to comprehend, but these are real people. This is not just something that's a fantasy story. And in Hawaii, again, the Hawaiian people, that's so expensive to live. There's 4 to 6 families living in one house over there in Lahaina, and a lot of them didn't get out. And it's my belief a lot of the families, the whole family died, because that's why you're not getting report of missing children. So the cars were exploding. The sirens didn't go off. Nobody bothered to turn the warning on. The water shut down. Why are we not seeing more about this true story of the water? The water is owned by, I think it's Maui Land Development Company. There's another big company that probably coincidentally wants to buy that land. But conveniently, they were able to deny the water. The fire department should have just dropped the hoses there in the Pacific Ocean right there on Front Street. They have pumper trucks. They could have pumped water. Salt water, I don't think is going to ruin their truck, but so be it. So that leads me to also say there were 2 fire trucks that were completely lost in the fire. I don't know what happened. One got tangled up in power wires or something, but they fled. The firemen fled with a police car, took them out. But I have to say, I only through personal associations, I know someone who was with the Maui Fire Department, and he says there are many injured, burned firemen in a hospital here in Honolulu, on Oahu, evacuated here. But I don't know. I don't really watch the general news. I don't know if there are any reports about them, but there's several injured firemen that were badly burned, and I'm really sorry for that. I'm sorry for all the people, but generally when there's a major disaster, there are firemen that lose their life. 9/11 is a good example of that, but hopefully they will all recover. But again, where is the reporting? Where is the truth? Where is the transparency? It's not there. It's covered up, and this is gets more and more complex and looking more suspicious all the way. But so we have the governor, the Pittsburgh Steeler, who's not from Hawaii and has no real ties with Hawaii that I can see, other than he came here and married a lady on the big island of Hawaii, and then got into politics and found a good way to make a living. But he's actually married to the World Economic Forum, and he's married to the Green Agenda. He's married to the UN, gave a great speech promising to make Hawaii the first AI clean energy state, and Maui the first total clean energy. Well, Boy, it's nice and clean, the energy over there. Well, I think we need to stop for now. I'll try to get back to you soon, and I hope everybody has a blessed evening. Thank you. And well, before I go, okay, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to throw me off for saying this, but you know, the mayor, the chief of police, and the fire chief all need to be immediately fired, suspended from their duties. They are incompetent, incapable of adult decisions, especially in the face of an emergency. And I think the governor himself needs to be relieved of his duty, which only us, the voters, I suppose, can do. That we could do that, and I guess we need to do that. But this is a terrible thing. It's just a land grab. It's obvious. But I'd like to say this was intentional. This was no accident, in my opinion. Okay, my opinion. 45 years here in Hawaii, I know a little bit about what's normal and what's not. This is not normal. Everybody knows that. This was intentional, and I really do believe this was arson. It was set by arsonists, which I personally believe were brought in, uh, flown in for this purpose. And I just have to say that 3 or 4 months ago, I saw many, many different people arriving here, and non-English speaking people, Latin American looking people, Central American looking people. And I flew down there. I flew many years there in the 70s. I love those people, but these are not the normal. They're young men, military age, with tattoos, gang colors, gang scarves, all single, showed up, and they were all over the parks here where I live by Waikiki. They're walking the park. Two of them were fighting chickens in the day. Well, they fight chickens, I'm told, in Hawaii, but they don't do it in the day in the park across from a school. And these guys were not from here. And we can all spot people that are not from here. It's easy. These were not tourists, but they all had the same equipment: a black backpack, a cell phone, and a suitcase with everything they had in it. And many of them ended up with mopeds, brand new, or electric scooters, some way to get around. But they're all in the park. They took over the parks where I walk my dog every day. A lot of them have drifted out, but I'm told that a lot were settled down on the Big Island, Hawaii, which also caught fire on August 8th. A lot of them on Maui, and a lot of them on Kauai. And there are a lot here, obviously. So we had three fires. Three fires started on that August 8th. I mean, 3 islands had fires, multiple fires. The Big Island, Hawaii, the island of Maui had about five. Big Island, Hawaii, I don't know, had 3 or 4 different locations. And then here on Oahu, there was 2 or 3 started. And that just don't add up as coincidence. And those aren't wildfires. But I think it's very clear this was arson. This is a military war against us by people that are very evil. And there's a lot of satanic magic and power involved in this. And I'll finish up by just giving the lady, this Hawaiian lady, what she said when she heard the wind coming down from the mountain that day. She had never heard any sound like this, but she's a very spiritual, in tune lady with a Hawaiian life. But she said she realized she heard the sound, this mighty wind coming down from the mountain, which is unusual. Wind doesn't blow from that way, from the east. But she said it was the kavaula wind, which she described it to say it's a wind comes only once every 60 years. And she called it a black wind. I don't know the exact translation, kavaula, but I think ula is something to do with Madame Pele, the fire goddess of the Big Island. I think it's her sister. But anyway, this lady said it's only every 60 years, and this was a horrendous sound. She said it was the sound of a thousand warriors thundering down that hill towards the ocean. And then she made a comment and she said, I know the sirens didn't blow. I know the water didn't work. I know all of these, but when this thing comes, she said, there's nothing that can stop it. Nothing can stop it. That wind, though. But when you get people with matches and cans of gasoline that take advantage of that, combine that with the kavaula, you wind up with what we ended up with. And it's not over. No, that's not going away. There's no real investigation going on. There's no real facts coming out. And actually, there was a man on the scene today questioning the fire investigator, and there's no real investigation why this fire broke out today in Kanapali by the West Maui airport. But I'll just say they're housing the victims of Lahaina over there in those hotels in Kanapali, just 3-4 miles down the road. And here a fire starts today right across the street from them. And the grass is dry. It's brown. It's tinder dry over there. And there should be National Guard should be called out by the Pittsburgh Steelers with one phone call that they could come and set up the tent, set up the outpost, set up guards, protect the people, invite people to come and stay, air conditioned tent, safety, food, clean water, and medical facility. That's what the National Guard is for. That's what I grew up believing. It's for our citizens' protection, our nation, not to go and kill people all over the world. But the Pittsburgh Steelers don't seem to think like we think. But we're many people think like I do. But this was not an accident. It's not a natural fire, which they're trying to jump the laws. They trick rigged the laws 2 weeks before the fire. He declared an emergency, saying that they could buy up any land they wanted, even historic land, if a natural disaster happened, which had never happened. He declared the emergency before the emergency, and then the emergency 2 weeks later happened in Lahaina. Whoa, please, don't get me started. But I just want to say, I will finish, okay, and this is the real finish. I'm fed up with the chief of police stonewalling and sneering and scowling at every reporter, and the mayor also bullying everybody and refusing to answer any question about the children. But the last I saw, they asked the chief of police, who came from Las Vegas, and we know all about him and the shooting over there. But where are the children? And they said, I don't know. I don't know. And that's been in my mind, and I just want to share as a closing from Genesis, the book, the Bible. Cain and Abel, the story of the first murder. And murder, I think, is an appropriate word, but Cain and Abel, Cain has killed his brother Abel out in the field. He was jealous of him. In chapter 4, Genesis, and verse 8, and Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, the Lord said, And what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Well, okay. Well, there's a lot of blood on the ashes, under the ashes of Lahaina town, crying out from the earth for justice. And the people involved in that, they just heard their part of their sentence. They are cursed, whoever they are, whoever hindered that or aided or abetted that. but they're going to face their judgment either here or in eternity, but they're going to face it. So thank you. I hope this is not too much, but I just, I want to say my piece, that we have been lied to, jerked around. We are not constitutionally a part of the United States of America. We should not be subjected to this illegal occupation. And now they have taken over Lahaina. They plan on selling it. They've already sold it, apparently. And they put the laws, change them, that the people have no say and cannot stop it. So here we go. Here we go once again, folks. So, and please don't send your money to the Red Cross or to FEMA. Send it to churches that you know or that somebody knows, because they need it here. They need the help, but they're not getting it from those people. So anyway, it's Captain Ted saying, God bless you. God bless Hawaii. God bless Maui. Please pray for Maui, and we pray for you too. So from Oahu, signing out. Till the next time, Captain Ted. Aloha.